Okay, so next trick is, I can see my jawline because I did create this little bit of a, darker color on the neck. Couple ways to handle this. What a lot of people do is they'll just go on the head layer. Oops, make it visible. Unlock it though. They'll go on the head layer and they'll just sort of pick up a stroke, right? That's kind of just basically a darker color. Okay, and then you can see my jaw pretty well. That's one way to do it. But here's a better trick, and this is what I like to do. Again, I think that there's a lot of little tricks here that are subtle little things to do that really, really help. Oops, okay, so I'm going to click on my head and tell it no stroke. Okay, and now here's what I like to do is I will hold Alt, right, which duplicates an object. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of drag a copy of my head down just a little bit. And then I'm going to right click and do Arrange, Send to Back. Now, this trick only works if you're using layers, because if you're not using layers and I send to back, it's going to send it way below this picture. But since my head is on its own layer, when you do send to back, it only sends it to the back of the current layer. So right now, this little part that I just made a little bit lower is below my head object, but not below the neck. All right, even though I sold it send to back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of bump that color up a little bit, or the K value, right? Remember that makes things darker. And now look at what a cool line I've got. Look at that shadow. Looks very, very cool. Now a little bit thick out here, but all I have to do is click on that object, use my white arrow, and I can just kind of, drag this corner in, right? Because I wouldn't really have a shadow going off the edge of my head. Okay, so I just drag that shadow in. Maybe even have to, bring this one in just a smidge. Okay, and that way it's casting the shadow just on my neck, because obviously it wouldn't cast a shadow on the air. All right, so I can just use that to kind of perfect that shadow, and I get a very, very cool effect. Okay, and this ear, actually, as I'm looking at it, I think that ear could use the same treatment. I've never really done it with the ear before, but I'm going to make a duplicate and then arrange, send it back. And because it's on a layer, right, it didn't go behind my head or anything. And now I can just click on my color and bump the color up. So, oh my gosh, that looks good. Look at that. Look at that. That looks cool. Now look at, what's cool about it is that you get that really cool aspect of like the line's thicker here and it gets real thin, right? Same thing here at the bottom of the ear. That is a cool effect. All right, so here I am again recommending that you do it this way. You can't just throw a stroke on it. And does it look okay? Yeah. Does it look crazy awesome? Wicked awesome, as we once said in the 80s? Yeah, it does look wicked awesome. All right, so, I'm still not happy with that neck, but we'll have to see what happens when we finish tweaking things. All right, so turn all those off, and guess what? That's right, I'm going to make a new layer. Click here, new layer, and I will do next my mouth. Coming up in the next video.